welcome everyone. It's really nice to be here with Deji to talk about some good news in the seamless HR world. We recently closed a round, something that we're excited to talk about. And over the next few minutes, Deji and I are going to be chatting about a few things about the round and about seamless HR and about what to look forward to.
Welcome, everyone. And interesting thing, Emmanuel, I think this is the first time we are doing a seamless podcast together. And
Yep,
that's really exciting. I'm pumped.
absolutely.
I'm really pumped to be here. Welcome, everyone.
Really, our passion was about productivity. We felt that we could use technology to make impact on the productivity, first of Africa and the world. And the first thing we did was a jobs website, a jobs aggregator called Insideify back in 2012. That's in terms of this phase of our work. But actually, before that, Deji and I had started our first company in 2005 when we were in the great Obafemi Awolowo University during one of our strikes.
Great effect.
Great event. But if you leave the 2005 to 2012 part of our story out, 2012, I left medicine full time in 2013, and we were both going to sort of build technology that will help improve the productivity of working people in Africa and then potentially globally. And we started with a jobs aggregator called Insideify, which we ran from 2012 to about 2017. The jobs aggregator didn't do quite well, but still sitting on that productivity graph, we decided to pivot. So we went to strategy and figured what can we do that is profitable and sustainable, but that improves the productivity of the continent. And building tech to help human productivity improve sort of was the answer to that question. And we've been able to do it profitably over the last few years to the point that we have been able to attract investment now over $20 million to back that execution within the continent and generating significant revenues as well. And also then building a bigger team that does many more things right now.
That's a very lovely question because product has been center of not just my art, of Emmanuel's art, because we know everything we do revolves around the product. And from when we started building the product, what has been constant is we listen to the customer. We listen to the customer. Any module we're building, be it payroll, be it performance management, be it recruitment management, we always listen to the customer. And that's evolved the product over time. I remember demos we did where the customer would say, well, do you guys have a camera in my office? Remember that particular demo at
Absolutely,
the
I
customer?
remember.
Do you have camera in my? Because we were just discussing this. And that's because we listen to a barrage of customers. We listen to industry experts to ensure that what we are building is actually speaking to the need of a customer, not just what we think is best for the customer, but what the customer actually wants. And apart from that, something that is key is technological innovation. We have to use the best technology to build our products all the time. The best technology. We're always researching. We're always researching. We're always like curious to what's the new advancements. How are we using AI? How are we using WhatsApp? How are we using cloud technology as much as possible to deliver success? And the last thing I would say is, which is one of our differentiating factor, is user experience. The experience has to be good. When we first started, the platforms people are used to using are like your core banking application, business application, looking very
ERPs,
serious
yeah.
and all that. I remember a customer telling us back then that when we demoed our employee experience, that's the dashboard, and she said, I can just look at this all day. It makes me happy. That is the goal. That's one of the things that drives us. Be able to emote certain emotion from our customers.
Absolutely. And, back in the days, as you're just talking about we engaging in customers. Back in the days, I would do UI, UX myself. They would do
Yeah.
sales. We both do
Yeah.
sales. We'll talk to customers. We'll go to customers together. We'll do customer success work. We'll do requirement gathering ourselves. We'll sit down with consultants
Yeah.
ourselves to
Yeah.
take notes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Darius Shovajo,
Yeah.
who gave us insight into performance management when we started. Just to understand performance management, take notes ourselves. So we did all that work ourselves in the first few years of the company, and really just got our feet into engaging customers to to literally birth the product. Like we literally birth the product from interacting very deeply with customers, and we continue to carry through that culture with now a bigger organization with more product managers, with more teams who continue to carry forward that culture of engaging customers and building customers. Sort of like a product by the people for the people. That's the kind of experience that we have at Seamless HR. I mean, we've had challenges. I remember, like, even just coming to Seamless HR from a jobs website that wasn't making money. And strategy helped us. Having great corporate governance helped us. We had a really strong board. We've always had strong board of directors who sort of provide mentorship, hold us accountable, keep us on the straight and narrow. We also thank our investors. I can remember that we raised our seed round during the pandemic in March of 2020, when the world was going bonkers. Having investors come through at such a time, and we just closed this round as well at a time when you hear about the nuclear winter in tech, and when people are not able to raise money. But we have investors trusting us, and these are big, meaningful investors backing us with cash to continue to execute. We also have an incredible culture, and if I can say so myself, and maybe let Deji speak to that a bit more, of people who really love the work that they do. People love to work in Seamless HR. People love the mission. People love the vision. People get behind it. And with the kind of people we have, there's no problem that I'm afraid to take on. We've got the best people in the world literally working with us.
Thanks, Emmanuel. I'll come from the challenges perspective to answer the question. And if I can say so myself, I'll call us the poster child of SaaS in Africa. Because I remember selling SaaS back then in 2018 was tough. You remember, Emmanuel, when a customer said, do we have to pay for this software every year?
Every year, yeah.
It's supposed to be CapEx. You are supposed to pay once and we own the software and we'll pay you for maintenance if you want. And we said, no, that's not how SaaS works. You have to pay for subscription. Why am I subscribing? I've bought it already. So it was hard. It was tough. I know many people might not relate now because people are used to paying subscription. That was a challenge. But we soldiered through, first by educating them about cloud. That was another challenge we faced on the product. People want the product in their environment. They want it in their on premises, but they are not able to leverage cloud technology. There's the issue of information security. If you have it on prem, someone can run into your system, fire cloud and all that. We educated them, and we were lucky to have good CIOs, good information technology, who listened to us and said, yeah, I think it should be on the cloud. And they gave us a shot. And since then, it's been very good.
If I can add one more thing, Deji, as a challenge that, most recently, the biggest challenge we've confronted is the devaluation of the Naira. If you had $100 in June last year, 1st of June last year, it's probably about $27, $28 right now. So you sort of lost 72% of value in Nigeria. That's incredible. Like, my American and European friends can't even begin to understand what that means. But as I've said about Seamless, we're lucky that even in the midst of those challenges, one, fundamentally, we've been doing well, such that we are still attractive enough to global investors like the Gates Foundation, like Ilios, who are backing us to continue to scale. If we didn't have the fundamental healthy business, it would have been hard to raise. But secondly, is that in spite of the challenges, the way we go is to take it in our stride. Watch this space. You literally see what's going to happen over the next 2 years. In spite of the devaluation we're facing in the Naira, Seamless always comes back stronger. And we have so much in the kitty right now that we're going to be executing over the next 2 years that will be incredibly transformational. So we're able to convert challenges to strength. We're able to convert these mountains to sort of launch pads for greater heights. So yeah, we faced that's a big challenge to lose 70% of your value in one of your markets, but we're bouncing back very strong.
And to piggyback on it, something that I think has helped us, and speaking on the culture of the people, has been our mantra: go big or
go
go.
home,
I've
yeah.
heard a lot of my staff, even some of my customers, actually saying, go big or go home. We face the challenge. We're either doing it well or we are not doing it at all. And since we have set out on this mission, everybody said, go big or go home. And that has always been what has been pushing the company. And to the next few years, we what?
We
Go
go
big
big.
or we go
We're not
home.
going home.
We are not going home anyways.
It's only the go big. If we go home, then that product is not scaling. But for seamless HR, big is the only
We're
way,
going
right?
big.
Big is the only way. Yeah. Yes. So this round was co-led by Ilios and the Gates Foundation, and it's equity round by the Gates Foundation and Ilios. And the goal is to fuel aggressive growth with this. So, for instance, Gates Foundation is interested in making impact with low-income earners in Africa. This is essentially because we sit on payroll, we're able to leverage that to drive embedded finance. And we've already started doing work in that regard a few years before the Gates Foundation came. And by partnering with the foundation, we're now able to catalyze that work significantly, both with the investment in cash and with just the universe of support and capacity that we can get from partnering with the Gates Foundation. So that's going to be a big part of what you see over the next few years, where we are scaling aggressively and significantly our impact with hardworking Africans and giving them access to credit to enjoy a better life. We are also going to do a lot of work on the SaaS side of things. You would see a lot of work within Africa and outside Africa as we ship great technology globally. Because essentially, we have a push factor with the instability of the currency, where we have to sort of fish for time in wider waters. So I'm not going to say more than that, but you would see significant growth in that regard as well for us over the next few years. And of course, the things that help us to deliver that. So everything from the strengthening of the team, investment in the team, growing the teams to execute that, partnerships, products, processes, people. You're going to see a lot of investment in those regard that helps us achieve those goals.
What I would say is that first off, deepen your roots in whatever you do. Build a great product or service or whatever you're selling. Because if the product is good, you would always have customer. People will be willing to pay for it. There's so many examples I could give. But if you build something that is not so good, there's only the amount of length that your sales team, your sales motion can get to before your customer starts churning. But build a great product, listen to your customer, and beyond that, look beyond your horizon. Don't just stay in one position, don't stay in Africa, look beyond and say, how can I touch more lives with this product? How can I make more impact with this product? How can I make more money with these products? Partnership is important. And maybe more importantly, especially because I'm CTO, resources are also important. Major part of my work has been hiring, finding the right talent, finding great talents, also making the company and the structure of the organization as attractive as possible to ensure that you have good talent, because it gets to a point you need great talent to actually move you from point A to point 10A. That means 10x whatever you are doing. You need great talent to do that. So hiring right, hiring very well, and also improving the culture of your organization. I'm sure Emmanuel will have a lot to say about that.
Yeah. How can you grow a successful company out of Africa in spite of all the challenges that we face and challenges we do face? I think that it's important to be strong. It's not for the faint-hearted. If you want to do work here, you have to be strong. You have to have great partners to ride this journey with you. It gets really lonely and tough. And whether it's your co-founders or your board, I also think that corporate governance is important. You have to make sure that you run a healthy business. If it's not healthy, it's just a matter of time it will die. And that can be said of animals or companies. So it's important that you run a very healthy institution. That's critical. And the other thing that I think is critical is that one has to have an interaction with problems where you take problems in stride. That's my personal sort of defense strategy or my coping strategy with challenges that we face. You take problems in stride. The mountain that you are carrying, you should be climbing. You literally have to climb the mountains, not carry the mountains. And I think that, for instance, an example of that is that you take the currency challenges that we're having, for instance, it reduces your revenue, but it also reduces your cost. And so, how are you going to be able to take that cost advantage to be able to produce for markets where you're not going to have revenue differentials from foreign exchange crisis? So that's an example of like taking a strategic stand and looking at your problem and converting it into strength, or climbing a mountain that you're carrying. So I think great things will come out of Africa. We're an example of a great thing that's out of Africa, and there are other examples of great things coming out of the continent in spite of the challenges that the continent is presently going through. If you take a long look at the arc of the future, most of the working people in the world will be working in Africa. In the next 25 years, most of the working people in the world will be in Africa. So Africa is the future. Africa produces most of the resources that the world lives on. So you cannot but bet on Africa. And I believe that those of us who are building this infrastructure, this foundation, these institutions, sending our roots deep in the ground, will not only reap reward in the present, but bountiful reward awaits us. This is the last growth markets in the world, so bountiful results await. Even the investors who are betting on Africa right now, bountiful rewards await. You might be going through sort of like the trough of that growth now because of the macros, but bountiful rewards await on the crest.
My message or my sign off notes would be that we've built a great product here. We've had customers use it. We've had people test it, use it, and we've had numerous testimonies of people actually giving live instances where the software has helped them to improve their processes, has helped them to solve problems, to save money, payroll costs, and has even helped their employees to actually optimize their resources, live better lives. And what I would say to customers that have trusted us, please keep trusting us. We're working hard and we are building the best product. We'll keep building the best product, the best feature for you. And to the new customers, what are you waiting for? Come on board and come and enjoy this. And to our investors and to talents that want to work, please, we're waiting for you. Find us on LinkedIn, go to our website, apply, and come on board. I'll see you, maybe as a customer or as a staff or as an investor. Thank you.
Thanks, Stevie. I think that when you look at what we're trying to do with embedded finance and really just impact the quality of lives of working people in Africa, and that's increasing our influence. We're working with one of the biggest impact funds in the world to achieve this, and it's a laudable goal. And so we want to work with more companies. We have payroll financing where we can help you meet payday and it's sort of like working capital sort of gaps for work for your staff, so that your staff also can plan their lives better and they get their salaries on a specific day every month. We've got end wage access. We've got short-term loans, long-term loans, asset financing for your employees. The quality of life that you find in Europe and America, a lot of it is leveraged by people who are able to collateralize their employment, either as social security numbers or all of the data that writes off that. And we have all that data within our HR and payroll system. So I think that a significant part of our work going forward will be how we actually impact the life of hardworking Africans so that they can enjoy a better life. So that's a big part of what to look out for in future. And from the SaaS base, we're doing a lot of work to build a SaaS platform, like Deji said, that if you are not using Seamless HR, what are you using? Like, why would you be using anything else? Because this is a mission-oriented, very focused goal of improving your productivity. I think people who are not using Seamless HR could be excused if your goal is not to improve the productivity of your company. But if your goal is to improve the productivity of your company, then you have to go seamless, right? And so, reach out to us, www.seamlesshr.com. We're ready to get started from there. And I think the last thing I would say is that the uniqueness of our work in Africa, or if you find this in emerging markets, whether it's in China or Japan, when Japanese cars landed in America, is that you face problems in a very unique way. Your interaction with the phenomena that confronts you, which people will refer to as problems, is such that you build products that are a lot more robust. And the currency differentials also make sure that you can build robust products that are cheaper. So the advantage we have with Seamless as a SaaS in Africa is that we've built an incredibly robust platform that is more robust than what is built in markets where they're not confronting phenomena the way we confront phenomena. So like where you know, you look at in the US, you have a platform that just does performance management or just does payroll or just does HR management. We do it end to end because we have to solve problems more fundamentally for the customers in the continent where we were formed, right? But now, as we are foraying globally, we believe that that's going to be a strength because we've built an incredibly more robust platform that is incredibly cheaper because our cost structure looks very different from if you were building this in Europe or America. So I think with our cost advantage, it's just the way Japanese cars landed in America in the 70s. And they were more just stronger, but cheaper. And 40 years later, they still continue to pull their weight globally, Japanese cars, that is. I believe that African software is going to be the same thing, more robust, just stronger, better, and cheaper. And the day of the African software is upon us. So watch out for us in markets outside Africa. That's the little that I would drop on that regard.